pre-working the material allows you to get better tolerance control. So you're putting it into a more easily controllable raw stock.
I disagree with you.
Well, it's like when you're recycling filament. Like, there's normally two stages. One is when you shred it, and then you make an attempt at making filament, and then you cut it again so it's closer to pellets, and then you feed it back, and it's actually kind of good at that stage.
Right.
Pretty much. The biggest issue with going to a pellet feeder isn't even the pellet feeder. It's the weight of the feeder itself, because they are heavy.
This is a microwave oven transformer. This is a spare for my Tesla coil build. And for those thinking, oh, he's really dangerous. No, my coil uses 3 mots, 2 for power, and then 1, the primary is shorted to be a current shunt. So, or sorry, the secondary is shorted. So the primary becomes a current shunt. So it is 4,000 volts at like 100 milliamps, give or take, before the tank circuit. 6 pounds, 11 ounces.
It's about 3.5 kilos-ish.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's
so
probably... that's under 3 kilos. It's 2.2 pounds per kilo. So call it, round up to 3.
Yeah, that and the microwave generator, if that's lighter than a pellet feeder, that could legitimately be a good solution for pellets. Because pellets suck.
But you're still going to need an auger to feed it. You're still going to need an auger.
No.
How do you feed it?
Just use regular filament stock.
No. Pellet feeders are better.
No, why are they better? Give me one reason they're better.
Because it's way more affordable. And they're way easier to deal with. I can go buy a Gaylord full of pellets, put a vacuum in the stupid thing. Yeah, way easier to deal with.
Yeah, but that's like saying raw bauxite from the ground is easier to deal with than processed aluminium. Like materials you can pre-process, and filament is just pre-processed pellets to a uniform diameter and thickness.
All right, fine.
So it's easier to control.
I'll play to your science game. Mr. Magic Man over here. Fine. Every time you heat polymer, you are dealing with a level of non-plastic deformation. You are work hardening the material every single time you melt it. So instead of an extra melt to turn it into filament, we're dealing with raw pellet stock, which means it is better for the material overall.
But is it better for controlling the material output? If you're getting bad tolerances, does it matter?
The bigger printers seem to agree that it is. On average, they seem to agree that it is.
I just think they've never tasted good tolerances. Because they don't have good tolerances. They make all their parts with the idea that they're not good toleranced. Like the edges have slight bulging and the surface wibbles a little bit.
And that's fair, right?
But preforming the filament makes it more accurate.
You can get really accurate pellet extruders. Really, it comes down to the nozzle orifice, because a lot of pellet extruders are using just dummy thick nozzles. Like they're using 10, 12, 14, 20 millimeter nozzles. So yes, the nozzle itself is going to create more of those problems. If you put a pellet extruder on let's just go with a 1.0. A 1.0 nozzle, which both filament and a pellet extruder can do. I would argue that you will get identical results.
But I do think the MISO tech is going to make pellet extruders basically obsolete, except for the larger auger extruders, like the 20 to 30 kilo extruders.
Yeah, I guess it
because
depends.
If you can just imagine, you've got, call it 6 filament inputs on a MISO. And a MISO block is tiny because you only need the same surface volume of a regular nozzle, and you literally copy it. So we've done a 6 nozzle output, 50 millimeters long, so it's a 50 millimeter melt chamber with curves, so it's got the equivalent of a CHT style of more surface area, in a very small package that weighs less than 400 grams, and it takes pre-made filament. Each length is going to be getting you 40 cubic millimeters per second. So you're doing 300 cubic millimeters per second of flow? That's 35 kilos a day. 35 kilos. If you're running 35 kilos a day, it's a smart investment to buy an auger pellet feeder to make your own filament.
But why not just remove the middleman of making the filament and feed raw pellets instead?
It's a control issue. Yeah.
Look,
so if you take away the put raw material in because it's cheaper to get output, pre-working the material allows you to get better tolerance control. So you're putting it into a more easily controllable raw stock. Well, it's like when you're recycling filament. Like, there's normally two stages. One is when you shred it, and then you make an attempt at making filament, and then you cut it again so it's closer to pellets, and then you feed it back, and it's actually kind of good at that stage.
We absolutely do not. We absolutely do not. Nope. We shred it to get it into roughly the right, pellet size so it fits into the auger, and then we just dump it in. We do not do a secondary extrude to cut it into pellets. I know that there are ones that do. I never did. And I made filament for years. Now, to be clear, that's on a fill extruder that uses an actual auger drill bit as its auger. So, you're not working with like precision manufacturing here, right? We used, I still have it somewhere. It was a death trap of a machine. We took a paper shredder apart, flipped all the blades upside down, and ran the motor in reverse. So
so it was pulling and crushing.
But you fed from the outlet, which has a much bigger, the outlet has a larger inlet, if that makes sense, right? Like the inlet of a paper shredder only handles like 20 pages of paper. On the outlet, it has to dump into a big bin. So we said, well, why don't we just flip everything around and run it in reverse? The motor didn't have enough torque, so we added a flywheel to it that we screwed a bunch of screws and bolts into to add a bunch of weight to it, and it was able to get the crush size that we needed. And it was a very, very effective system of filament recycling. Like, it worked very, very well. A lot of people will do the extrude and then cut because it is more reliable. You get less issues. Like, you'll get less air pockets on a cheap, crappy fill extruder. To be clear, fill extruder is not crappy, but when you're comparing it to like industrial level machinery,
when you're comparing to an industrial, it's baby love.
There are not commercially available MISO systems out there. So
not yet.
And so the conventional system is to do pellet, right? The commercial available high flow hot end right now to me is the tube, right? The tube has the highest flow on the market that I'm aware of. But again, that I'm aware of, you can't buy a printer with the tube already on it. You have to do it yourself. Oh, the Slice Prime. Okay, but
let me Google the Slice Prime.
It's $1,000. Oh, I can. Right, because I can get it on one of Luke's printers, but I'm not gonna. I can't say I want to buy a printer today. I'm going to say it.
The Slice Prime is stupid. I'm just going to say it. The Slice Prime, just looking at the design,
Luke
that's
says
a
I
shit
can't.
design.
Luke, who sells your tubes on a printer already? I don't think you keep inventory of machines, do you? Oh, a company picked it up recently. Okay, fair. I was not aware of that. See, this is why it's nice to have the people behind the products in the chat. They'll tell you.
Honestly, though, going back to the Slice Prime, just buy Goliath. Just buy Goliath.
Go buy a tube.
Go buy a tube. The Slice Prime looks so bad.
We're going to get into this. I would much rather people support the community than support a big business. I would much rather you support the community than support a big business, because these small businesses like Luke's Lab, Construct 3D, and others are the base of our community. If we don't keep them moving, then we will be stuck with one or two options forever. People like Luke, like Jacob and his family, they enable us to have other options, and they can put heat under these larger brands and say, hey, these are things we care about. You got to start caring about it too. So, just saying. We care about the small brands way more than the big ones, in my opinion.
You don't have moving parts in a MISO nozzle. It's a standard nozzle. You have an extruder, and that's the only bit that moves. Whereas a pellet feeder, you've got the complexity of the pellet feeder. So you get a simplification, and that is really the main benefit, is you're simplifying the printing process at the cost of making the material production more complicated.
Certainly, if you were looking at adding a high flow machine to your workflow and you already owned a bunch of other machines, a MISO might be a better move because now you're still standardized on filament. If you're an operation looking to add a large 3D printer to your business, you might find that a pellet...
It gets very muddy.
MISO makes sense to me when you already have a standardization around filament. It does not make sense if you don't have a standardization already, but we can look at that another time because there's probably a way to make MISO pellet-based as well.
Yes, but there is also one other thing that MISO does. It makes 1 kilo reels viable for industrial use.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because you now have 4 kilos worth of capacity with a 4 nozzle MISO.
Yep.
So you're not limited to buying bigger reels. Yep. If you want to, like, if your supply can only do 1 kilo because they're on hand,
and that's totally fair,
you can now do big prints with 1 kilo.
And that is a great use case for it, right? You'll spend less time changing out materials for the same volumetric flow on a print.
Yep. He's only saying that about Cuban women because he knows more, and that's why. He can't afford to offend them.
I mean, that's
because they will find him faster than my mom can find him.
But so Cuban women have the chancla, right? The chancleta. They've got the heat-seeking sandal. What do Mediterranean women have? What is their
Sandals,
weapon of choice?
Flip-flops, brooms, cars. Have you seen Maltese driving? A car is a legitimate weapon of choice.